Chosen one, anchor your spirit to every word I'm about to speak. That restlessness you've been carrying this week, the one sitting right behind your sternum like a stone you cannot put down, stop pushing it away, and let me tell you exactly what it is. The enemy is working overtime right now for one reason and one reason only. He knows what is about to leave someone else's mouth. It all ends very soon. The wondering, the second-guessing, the silence that has been louder than any conversation you've had in weeks. But hear this clearly, because this is the part that matters most. It is not ending because time finally ran out. It is ending because of what you have chosen to do. Think back to that moment this week, when everything inside you wanted to reach out, wanted to say something, wanted to break first, but you didn't. You held your peace. You stayed silent. You didn't know it then, but that silence was not weakness. That silence was a decree. That moment of restraint was the exact act heaven needed from you to release what has been held in suspension. You did not push them away. You made room for them to come. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit did. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth. You are standing at a threshold, and on the other side of that threshold is a confession you have been waiting longer than you should have had to wait for. Stay until the very last second of this message, because in the next few minutes, I am going to hand you the spiritual verdict that explains why this person has gone quiet before the storm of their confession breaks. I am going to walk you through the exact pattern of silence that precedes a divine reveal, so you can see precisely where you are in this timeline. And at the end, I am going to give you the declaration that seals your silence as a weapon and keeps the door open for what is coming. Do not click away. Your future self is begging you to stay, because if you leave now, you may misread the silence you are standing in and break the very thing that is about to be handed to you. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like. The atmosphere has not just been still, it has been suspended, like the whole world hit pause and nobody told you why. Maybe you picked up your phone a dozen times this week and stared at their name, thumb hovering, and then put it back down without saying a word. Or maybe you were lying in bed at 3:00 in the morning, replaying a look they gave you, something they almost said, a moment where the air between you changed and neither of you acknowledged it. Or perhaps you have been going about your regular day, washing dishes, sitting in traffic, standing in a grocery aisle, and out of nowhere, the thought of them hits you so hard it stops your breath for just a second. You feel suspended, like you are floating in the space between what was and what is coming, and you cannot name it, and you cannot rush it, and you are exhausted from waiting in a silence you did not choose. And in that suspended place, the enemy has started whispering a very specific lie. Listen to your thoughts right now. He is telling you that the silence means it is over. He is replaying that last interaction, the one where they pulled back, the one where the conversation ended too quickly, the one where they did not respond the way you expected. He is telling you that your silence has been misread as indifference. He is telling you that you waited too long, that you said too little, that someone else has taken the position that was meant for you. The accuser is using your own peace against you. He is pointing at your restraint and calling it rejection. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about this moment. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Listen to that promise. Everything beautiful in its time. Not your time, not their time, His time. The silence you are standing in is not empty. It is full. It is being filled right now with the courage, the clarity, and the conviction that this person needs before they can open their mouth and say what their heart has already decided. You are not being ignored. You are being prepared for. There is a difference between abandonment and arrangement, and what you are in right now is an arrangement. The heaviness you feel is not the weight of being forgotten. It is the weight of something sacred being positioned. It is the tension of a word that has been forming in someone else's chest for longer than you know, pressing against their ribs, looking for the right moment to break through the surface. You think your silence has cost you. You think the moment you chose not to reach out, not to push, not to demand an answer, was the moment you lost. But let me reframe your reality right now. That was not surrender. That was sovereignty. The moment you chose stillness over reaction, you handed heaven the wheel. You stepped out of the way of your own blessing. And now the person who has been carrying the weight of what they feel for you is running out of room to hold it. The confession is not coming because you begged for it. It is coming because you were brave enough to stay silent. Hit the like button if this message landed exactly when you needed it. Drop a comment below. What is one moment this week where you almost broke your silence but chose to hold it, and now you are wondering if that silence was working for you the whole time? Now let me tell you what is actually happening on the other side of that silence. Because while you have been suspended in the waiting, while you have been lying awake trying to decode what the quiet means, while the unsettling stillness has echoed in the chambers of your heart, something profound and invisible has been unfolding in them that you cannot yet perceive. The silence has not been mutual stillness. It has been a profound, one-sided restraint on your end, a deliberate act of choosing peace over panic, while within them a full-on internal war has been raging. Imagine a battlefield not of swords and clamor, but of conscience and conviction, where old fears clash with emerging truths, where ego battles authentic desire and pride grapples with the terrifying pull of vulnerability. And understand this fundamental truth: wars do not stay quiet forever. Like a mighty river held back by a dam, pressure finds its inevitable release. Like a seed buried deep beneath the earth, truth finds its moment to push through the soil and bloom into the light. And the moment of that breaking, that breakthrough, that release is closer, far closer, than your anxious fear wants you to believe. Fear, that deceptive whisperer, always attempts to distort the timeline, to stretch out the waiting into an eternity, but your spirit knows the true proximity. Think about what happens to water when you hold it beneath the surface of a deep ocean. The deeper you push it, the more immense the pressure becomes. The harder it fights with an intrinsic, primal force to rise to the light and freedom of the surface. What you are waiting on has been pressed down, submerged under layers of resistance for a very long time. It has been pressed down by the heavy stone of pride, by the delicate yet formidable calculations of timing, by the terrifying soul-bearing vulnerability of being the one to initiate, to confess, to say it first. But just as water always finds its way, bubbling up through the densest layers to reach its natural state, truth always surfaces. It cannot be permanently contained. It will not be indefinitely suppressed. And the very fact that they have gone to this depth of quiet, this unprecedented stillness, tells you something crucial, something you desperately need to understand in this moment. Silence in someone who once spoke freely, who once engaged openly, is not an absence of feeling or an indication of pulling away. No, it is a powerful accumulation, an intense gathering of energy and conviction. They are not pulling away from you, retreating into indifference or disinterest. Quite the opposite. They are pulling themselves together, gathering their fragmented courage, wrestling with the magnitude of what they feel, enough to finally, decisively, and intentionally walk toward you. This stillness is their preparation, their internal recalibration for a movement that is imminent. But here is where it goes deeper, far deeper than simple psychology, and I need you to stay right here with me, to lean into this revelation with an open heart and a discerning spirit. There is a profound principle in the kingdom of spirit that most people tragically overlook, primarily because it doesn't always feel spiritual enough or overtly miraculous to take seriously. It is the undeniable principle of mirror and magnet. This powerful spiritual law dictates that what you authentically carry and cultivate in the spirit, in the deepest essence of your being, you inevitably magnetically draw into the natural, tangible realm of your experience. And what you have been carrying this week, that quiet dignity that emanates from your being, that steadfast refusal to dissolve into desperation or compromise your truth, that sovereign decision to honor what you truly feel within yourself, without immediately demanding that it be matched or validated by another, that posture has been working like an immensely powerful spiritual magnet. You have been pulling, not through aggressive pursuit or forceful manipulation, but through an internal resonance, a profound energetic attraction. You have been attracting without chasing, drawing without striving, radiating a frequency of self-possession that calls forth its equivalent. And let me tell you, there is a gravitational force to that kind of restrained power, an unseen yet undeniable spiritual pull that the natural, logical mind cannot fully explain or comprehend, but the spirit, your spirit and theirs, always, unfailingly recognizes. It's the law of resonance in action. King David, a man after God's own heart, understood this principle intimately, even amidst the most brutal and unjust circumstances. When King Saul, consumed by envy and madness, was relentlessly hunting him across the desolate wilderness, when the agonizing silence between David's sacred anointing and the actual realization of his throne stretched for years beyond what should have been considered reasonable or bearable, David did not attempt to manufacture his moment. He did not force the hand of destiny or resort to desperate measures. Instead, when Providence delivered Saul into his hands, sleeping vulnerable and exposed in the deep recesses of the cave at En-Gedi, David was presented with the ultimate temptation. He was close enough to end it all, close enough to reach out and take what was rightfully his by divine decree and human suffering. And in that crucible moment, he chose restraint. He chose dignity. He chose faith over immediate gratification or perceived justice. He quietly cut the corner of Saul's robe, a symbolic act of taking power without violence, and then he simply walked away, turning his back on the opportunity to seize what was promised. And that quiet act, that one profound moment of choosing dignity over desperation, choosing sacred timing over human impatience, changed everything. Because it was not merely a demonstration of his impeccable character, it was a spiritual message, a silent proclamation that rang infinitely louder than any confrontation, any accusation, or any act of violence ever could have. It was a message that declared, "My God will enthrone me in his time, not mine, and I will not defile his anointed." And eventually, remarkably, inexplicably to the natural mind, it moved the hardened heart of the very person who had been withholding what David rightfully deserved. It shifted the spiritual atmosphere around them both. Your restraint, your quiet dignity, your unwavering faith in this season is doing precisely the same thing right now. It is speaking a profound language, a frequency of truth and self-respect that the logical mind cannot translate, cannot intellectualize, cannot argue with, but the heart, the deepest core of the human spirit, always hears. It resonates at a primal level. It's a silent sermon, a powerful testimony. And what is coming next will likely surprise you, because most people mistakenly expect this season of stillness to be solely about the cultivation of patience, a passive enduring of time. But I am here to tell you that it is actually about power. It is about spiritual leverage. Because here is what no one truly tells you about the waiting season, about the periods of profound spiritual quiet. The silence you are standing in, the stillness that surrounds you, is far from passive. It is, in fact, one of the most active and potent spiritual postures a person can hold. Every single hour, every moment, every breath you resist the urgent, anxious urge to collapse the tension prematurely, to break the silence out of fear or doubt. You are not merely waiting. You are actively adding to the spiritual pressure on their end. You are not waiting for something to happen to you. You are powerfully making something happen through you. Your restraint is not merely the pause before the real work begins. Your restraint is the work. Heaven itself is using your steadfast stillness, your unwavering posture of faith, as a divine pressure system, a spiritual force that is building and building. And that pressure, that undeniable spiritual current, has an inevitable breaking point, a moment of release and breakthrough. And that breaking point is coming on their side, not yours. You are the immovable object, and the pressure is building around them. Now stay with me, because this is where the revelation starts to shift even more profoundly, where we peel back another layer of understanding about the sacred architecture of silence. Most people who find themselves in this often excruciating waiting place, in this season of profound quietude, instinctively assume the silence is primarily about them. They assume that if something truly significant were moving, if heaven were truly working on their behalf, they would undoubtedly feel it. They would see tangible signs. They assume that a divine arrangement, a sacred alignment, would at the very least send them a clear signal, a confirmation, something concrete to hold on to, something to unequivocally affirm that the waiting has a destined destination, a purposeful end. And so, when the silence deepens instead of lifting, when the days stack up in an unbroken chain of quiet without a single word, a single gesture, a single sign, they tragically start to interpret the stillness not as sacred space or divine preparation, but as undeniable abandonment. And that, my friend, is the exact moment, the treacherous precipice, where they reach for their phone, where they compose and send the message they will most certainly regret later, where they collapse the very tension that was, at that precise moment, about to break open gloriously in their favor, releasing the very thing they longed for. They interrupt the masterpiece just before its completion. But what if, just for a moment, you dared to consider a radically different perspective? What if the silence feeling unbearable, that acute, almost agonizing tension you feel, is not a sign that something is terribly wrong, that the connection has severed, or that you have been forgotten? What if, instead, it is a profound, undeniable sign that something monumental is incredibly, exquisitely close? What if that heightened intensity is the spiritual equivalent of the pressure cooker nearing its release point, the crucible reaching its transformative temperature? Think about the night before almost every significant biblical breakthrough, before every miraculous intervention that shifted history. Joseph did not sleep peacefully and serenely the night before Pharaoh called for him out of the dungeon. Rather, he endured the culmination of years of injustice, false accusations, and forgotten dreams, a profound internal compression. The Hebrew midwives did not feel a supernatural, tranquil peace the night before Pharaoh's murderous decree was miraculously overturned. Instead, they faced immense fear, the weight of courageous defiance, and the very real threat of death, an unbearable tension. The disciples did not wake up the morning of Pentecost with a calm, serene certainty about what was coming. Instead, they were huddled together in fear and uncertain anticipation, longing for a promise they didn't fully grasp, experiencing a deep collective pressure before the rushing wind and fire of the Holy Spirit descended. What truly preceded every divine interruption, every significant turning point in Scripture, was rarely comfort or ease. It was profound compression, an intensification of circumstances, a deepening of the tension. The pressure you feel right now, that profound spiritual and emotional weight, is not evidence that heaven has forgotten you, that your prayers have gone unanswered, or that your season has passed. On the contrary, it is undeniable evidence that something titanic, something divinely ordained, is about to move, about to shift, about to break forth. And let me tell you, the enemy, the adversary of your soul, the source of doubt and fear, knows it. That is precisely why the whispers of self-doubt, the insidious suggestions of worthlessness, the anxieties about the future have been louder, more insistent, and more unsettling this week. That is why the doubt feels more personal, more targeted, more specific, zeroing in on your deepest insecurities. Because the closer you get to your destined moment, to your breakthrough, to the unfolding of what heaven has prepared, the more precise and aggressive the opposition becomes. The enemy fights hardest when he knows he is about to lose, because what is coming is truly, profoundly worth fighting for. It is precious, and it is powerful. Coming up, I'm going to peel back the curtain even further and show you what is really happening inside the person you are waiting on, not just what it looks like from your perspective. And I promise you, this insight is going to reframe every single piece of this silence in a way that will fundamentally change how you carry the next few days, how you breathe through the remaining moments of this tension. But first, before we move to that, this has to land deep within your spirit. Take root in the soil of your understanding. You have been asking the wrong question. This is perhaps the most crucial realization in this entire message. You have been asking whether they still care. You have been agonizing over whether the connection, that profound knowing you felt, is still real, still potent, still active. You have been consumed by the fear of whether the distance, this impenetrable quiet, means that something permanent and irreparable has shifted between you. And those questions, I understand, feel utterly legitimate, because they emerge from a very real, very raw place of vulnerability, of exposed hope and deep longing. But here is the truth. They are the wrong questions. And the wrong questions always, without fail, lead you to wrong conclusions, to skewed perceptions of reality. And wrong conclusions inevitably lead you to wrong actions, to reactive, fear-driven responses. And those wrong actions, those desperate attempts to control or force an outcome, have the power to break, to unravel, to dismantle what heaven was at that very moment in the meticulous and sacred process of completing. You risk destroying the tapestry just as the final threads are being woven. The right question, the truly empowering question, is not whether they care, because that places your power and your validation outside of yourself. The right question is whether you trust what you profoundly discerned, what your spirit unequivocally knew before the silence even started. Because there was a moment, and you know exactly what moment I am talking about, that specific, undeniable flicker of recognition. There was a moment before all of this went quiet, before the tension began to build, where you simply knew something intangible, yet immensely powerful, passed between you. A truth that words alone were not big enough, not grand enough to carry or fully encapsulate. Something fundamentally shifted in the way they looked at you, or moved toward you, or lingered on your name when they spoke it. And in that precise sacred moment you knew, even if neither of you acknowledged it verbally. That moment was not your imagination conjuring fantasy out of thin air. That moment was a pure, undeniable spiritual download in the natural realm, a prophetic glimpse into a deeper reality, a seed of truth planted directly into your soul. And the silence that followed, this season of apparent stillness, was not the erasure or invalidation of that moment. No, it was the necessary, sacred processing of it, both within you and within them. Because what they felt in that seminal moment was undeniably real, a genuine, potent truth that reverberated through their core. And real profound, authentic things, especially those that touch the deepest parts of the soul, take time to become fully formed words. And words, especially those that carry significant weight and vulnerability, take immense courage to say out loud, to articulate into the open air. And courage, true, unadulterated courage, is the one thing that absolutely cannot be rushed, cannot be forced, cannot be manufactured on demand. Courage, like a mighty oak, can only be grown, cultivated through internal struggle, through facing fears, through unwavering conviction, through divine empowerment. It is an organic process. Therefore, what is happening in them right now, in the very core of their being, is not indifference, not a lack of feeling, not a regression. It is gestation. It is a sacred, internal birthing process. That initial, potent feeling has now acquired a discernible form. It has taken on weight, a significant gravity and importance. It has begun to acquire language, the specific words and expressions it will eventually use to surface. But they are still in the delicate process of learning how to carry it, how to articulate it, how to bring it out into the open air of shared reality without dropping it, without fumbling it, without allowing it to be distorted by fear or external pressure. And your silence, your steady, sovereign, dignified silence, your refusal to demand, to chase, to manipulate, is the safest, most sacred, most fertile environment you could possibly give that precious word, that nascent truth, as it makes its slow, inevitable, and powerful way toward the surface of expression. It is a spiritual incubator. You are not being avoided. That is the lie fear tells you. You are, in fact, being approached, being drawn into a deeper alignment. It just looks like profound stillness, like an empty space from where you are currently standing, observing only the surface of the waters. But beneath that surface, the currents are strong and moving with purpose. And here is something, a profound insight, that will irrevocably change the way you perceive and navigate the next 48 hours, shifting your entire energetic posture. The very moment a person, anyone, truly decides within their soul to speak a truth they have been holding, a profound confession or revelation, the entire atmosphere around them subtly but powerfully shifts. Those closest to them, those most deeply connected on a spiritual and energetic level, feel it, they sense it, long before they ever utter a single word. That inexplicable pull you have felt this week, that quiet yet undeniable drawing toward them, the way your thoughts have bent and gravitated toward them without any conscious invitation, the way their name has spontaneously surfaced in moments of total quiet, in the deep stillness of your meditations or waking thoughts. That is not obsession, that is not wishful thinking. That is profound attunement. Your spirit, your deepest knowing, is picking up a signal, a vibrational frequency that your conscious mind has not yet been given the precise language or logical framework to process or understand. You are feeling the subtle yet powerful vibration of a word that is being formed, meticulously crafted, gaining density and intention within their soul. You are sensing the profound movement, the internal shift, before that movement becomes externally visible or audibly spoken. This is not some fanciful notion. This is discernment, doing exactly what it was designed by heaven to do, perceiving the unseen realities, feeling the energetic precursors, recognizing the spiritual truth before it manifests in the natural world. It is your soul's radar, actively perceiving. Now, we are entering the part of this message that I need you to sit with very carefully, with an open mind and a humble heart. Because this is where the real confrontation begins, not with them, but with yourself. Most people listening right now, when faced with this kind of silence and waiting, instinctively believe that the primary, insurmountable obstacle between them and what they are yearning for is the other person. They believe that if the other person would just choose to speak, just choose to step forward, just choose to be courageous and vulnerable, then everything would effortlessly fall into place, the divine arrangement would manifest, and the tension would resolve. And so, often all of their spiritual energy, their prayers, their focus, their hope, is aimed outwardly. They are praying for the other person to shift, to change, to overcome their fears. They are asking God to move exclusively in someone else's heart, to soften them, to awaken them, to compel them, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that prayer. It flows from a place of genuine desire and concern. But here is the part, the uncomfortable paradigm-shifting truth that almost no one is truly ready to hear, because it challenges their fundamental assumptions. The door, my dear friend, is not locked from their side. It is being held, perhaps unknowingly, from yours. Not by active resistance, not by fear, not by anger, but by something far more subtle, far more insidious, and ultimately far more powerful in its restrictive nature. It is being held by a deeply ingrained expectation you formed, perhaps unconsciously, before this season of silence even began. It is held by a meticulously crafted image, a vivid mental picture of exactly how this was supposed to go, how it was supposed to unfold. A precise picture of the exact moment, the perfect words that would be spoken, the specific way it was all supposed to transpire, down to the smallest detail. And without even realizing the profound impact of this, you have, in essence, built that rigid expectation into the very atmosphere of this situation, creating an energetic wall around the potential outcome. And now everything that does not perfectly match that preconceived picture, that carefully constructed blueprint, feels like an undeniable failure, feels like a devastating loss, feels like absolute confirmation that it is not working, that it was never real, that heaven has somehow abandoned the plan. But what if what is coming, the actual breakthrough, does not look precisely like what you so meticulously imagined? What if the confession, the revelation, the next step forward, does not arrive in the exact packaging you designed for it? What if the breakthrough, the answer to your prayers, looks entirely different from the dream, from the perfect scenario you painted in your mind, but it is still undeniably the breakthrough? Are you willing to recognize it then? The expectation you KL into the rigid blueprint you've created is not protecting the promise. It is, paradoxically, narrowing the very door through which the promise, in all its divine, unconventional glory, can actually enter your reality. It's trying to fit the vastness of God's grace into the small, limited box of your human understanding and preference. And just when you think you have fully grasped that profound truth, just when you've begun to dismantle those self-imposed walls, there is one more layer, one final, crucial piece of this revelation. And this, I assure you, is the one that changes everything about how you will consciously choose to move through this final stretch of the season, and indeed through every season to come. Here is what almost no one tells you about divine timing, about the sacred orchestration of the universe. It is not merely about when things happen, about the perfect chronological moment of manifestation. Far more profoundly, it is about what you become in the waiting. Every single day this silence has stretched. Every moment of uncertainty you have navigated with grace. Something invaluable, something profoundly transformative has been forming in you within the crucible of your soul. A new depth has been forged, a richer capacity for compassion, resilience, and spiritual wisdom. A profound clarity has emerged, allowing you to see your own worth independent of external validation. You are becoming a version of yourself that is less reactive to external triggers, less desperate for external affirmation, less willing to accept anything less than what you were divinely made for, less prone to compromise your truth. The waiting has not simply been a passive holding space for them to arrive or for circumstances to align. No, the waiting has been actively, divinely building and refining the very version of you that is truly ready to receive what is coming, to hold it with integrity, without shrinking back from its magnitude, without second-guessing its authenticity, without inadvertently dismantling it the very moment it arrives out of old habits of insecurity and old fears of unworthiness. You are being prepared for reception. This is the part, the most unexpected twist in the narrative, the revelation that pierces through the veil of perception. The silence, this profound period of quietude, was never only about them. It was, in its deepest, most transformative essence, about you. The Most High, in His infinite wisdom and love, needed you to become someone capable of holding this thing, this sacred connection, this profound truth, without inadvertently breaking it through fear, doubt, or insecurity. He needed you to become someone who had profoundly learned that their inherent worth, their intrinsic value, is not contingent upon being chosen, upon being pursued, upon being validated by another, but is an unshakable truth, an innate divine spark within. He needed you to become someone who could stand unwavering in the profound tension of uncertainty, in the discomfort of the unknown, without collapsing into the arms of whoever offered the least uncomfortable, least challenging, or most immediate alternative, even if it was less than what your soul truly deserved. The person on the other side of this silence, the one who is grappling with their truth, is not just being prepared to confess something profound to you. They are being prepared, divinely orchestrated, to confess it to someone who, through this very season of waiting, has finally, powerfully, and unequivocally come to know their own immense value. And that person, that strong, whole, self-possessed individual, had to be grown, had to be forged, had to be refined in the purifying fire of exactly this kind of waiting, this kind of sacred silence. The silence was not a void. It was the making of you. It was the divine crucible that transformed you. And what is coming now, what is pressing toward the surface, is not just a confession, a revelation, or an acknowledgement from them. It is, far more significantly, a powerful, undeniable confirmation of who you have courageously, beautifully, and authentically become. It is the universe reflecting your inner transformation back to you. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, and the familiar weight is still there, that silent pressure in your chest, and the silence has not yet broken, do not, I implore you, reach for your phone out of a sudden surge of fear or desperation. Do not send the message, the impulsive inquiry, the anxious attempt to force a response that would, in that delicate moment, undo the masterpiece, unravel the tapestry that heaven has so painstakingly woven. Instead, as the first light of dawn breaks, place your hand gently on your chest, over your heart, and remember this profound truth. You are not waiting because you are forgotten, abandoned, or deemed unworthy. You are waiting because you are actively, divinely being prepared for. The divine arrangement is still active, its gears turning in perfect synchronization. The sacred word, the profound truth, is still forming, gaining strength and clarity within their soul. And the breaking point, the moment of triumphant release, is nearer, far nearer, than your persistent doubt desperately wants you to know. Now place your hand on your heart right now, feel the steady rhythm of your own life force, and speak these sacred words out loud, even if only in a whisper, because your words carry immense authority in the spirit realm, and what you declare over yourself tonight, with unwavering faith, will profoundly shape the very atmosphere of what is coming, clearing the path for its arrival. I am not abandoned. I am being approached relentlessly by a love that seeks me out, by a truth that cannot be denied. What was spoken over my life in secret, in those whispered moments of divine download, is now pressing powerfully toward the surface, like a hidden spring finding its way through ancient rock, carving a path for revelation. And I declare that I will not collapse the sacred tension by reaching prematurely for what is not yet fully ready to be received, refusing to pluck the fruit unripe or demand the sunrise before its appointed hour. I release the rigid expectation of how this is supposed to look, surrendering the blueprint of my ego, the confined vision of my human mind, and opening myself to the vast, imaginative, and often surprising ways of the Most High, knowing His designs far exceed my own limited understanding. I release the timeline I built in my own understanding, relinquishing the illusion of control over divine chronology, knowing that heaven's clock is synchronized to perfect harmony, where every moment serves a sacred, transformative purpose, building me and preparing the destined path. I release the fear that my silence has cost me anything, because I now know with absolute certainty that my silence has been a sovereign act of profound faith, a powerful prayer, a silent decree echoing through the cosmos, and heaven has been moving in powerful response to every moment I chose to hold my peace, amplifying my truth, dismantling unseen obstacles, and accelerating unseen progress with every breath of patient waiting. I am not behind schedule. I am not lagging. I am exactly on time, precisely positioned in the divine unfolding, orchestrated by a wisdom that transcends human perception. Every step, every pause, every moment of stillness has been an integral part of a meticulously crafted masterpiece. The word forming in their chest, the sacred truth, is mine to receive, and I will be standing in wholeness, in fullness, in radiant sovereignty when it gloriously arrives. I do not need to beg, to plead, or to diminish myself for what God has already divinely arranged for me. I only need to trust with an unshakable conviction that what is truly mine, what is ordained for me, cannot possibly pass me by. And so I wait, not from a place of weakness, not from passive resignation, but from the deepest, most profound kind of strength. The strength of a soul aligned with eternal purpose, a spirit anchored in unwavering truth, radiating a power that moves mountains in silence. And I declare, right here, right now, that the silence breaks now, not because I forced it, not because I manipulated it, but because the season has divinely fulfilled what it was sent to complete, and the moment of revelation is here, blossoming forth from the fertile ground of trust and transformation. If this message reached you at the exact moment you needed it, drop the number 7 in the comments. 7 is the number of completion, and what you are standing in right now is on its way to completion. And if someone came to mind as you listened, someone whose silence has been sitting heavy on you this week, share this with them, because sometimes the most prophetic thing you can do is put the word in front of the person who needs it most.